launched the attack?
I told you, the Marauders.
Who are they?
Look, lady, I don't know you anything, okay? I have been stuck here for the past 7 days. Right then, yeah, I heard noises, came down to see what it was. Now, I see it's some corporate half-wit the company sent.
My name's Sandra Ramirez. I'm the forensic investigator.
Nobody, okay? That's who you are.
Hello, we're here today talking with Julie Kashmanian. She's one of the stars of the movie HEMISPHERE. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Very good. Very good. So you have a pretty exciting character in this movie. She's a little bit of a scamp.
Yeah.
Her name is Phoebe Westover. Can you tell us a little bit about the character and what it was like to portray her?
Sure. So she's kind of at the point that we meet her, she's living in a crawl space, much like some kind of chipmunk or raccoon or something. And before that she was a mechanic, and she's kind of a like prickly, wisecracking type, kind of doesn't like being told what to do or how to do her job. Squirrely.
Is there anything in your own personal life and the way you do things that comes out in Phoebe?
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, I don't like people telling me what to do or like getting in my face. So I think that like that there is a certain bad attitude that accumulates over time, which
Right.
I was channeling, perhaps.
That's great. It worked. It was very
Thank
good.
you.
Can you give us just like a brief summary of what the movie HEMISPHERE is about?
Yes, so it is about Sandra Ramirez. She comes to investigate a space station that's gone problematic, and she finds one remaining crew member and has to unpick the mystery.
All right. What was shooting a space movie in somebody's basement in McLean, Virginia like? Were you expecting that? How did you feel about it?
So I've actually done a couple. The last sci-fi project I did was in somebody's garage. So like it honestly is impressive to kind of walk on set and everything looks like sort of sci-fi techie apparatus, and then you look closely and it's sort of recycled materials, like you might see like a calculator stuck to the wall or whatever. You know, so it's like the feats of creative thinking and engineering are very impressive, honestly. So it's a lot of fun to be on a set like that.
That's cool.
It's like doing what you can with what you got.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience working on the movie? What was it like? Were you able to have some input, and what kind of input did you have?
Yeah, I feel like the rehearsals were a very collaborative process. There would be times where we'd kind of go line by line and say, you know, what does this mean? Can we say this better? It was very collaborative. We had maybe a couple weeks of rehearsal in the space before we filmed anything. So I think the script at times felt pretty flexible because of that. And we were all sort of contributing ideas of, you know, I don't know if she would say this, maybe she would say this instead. Yeah, it was very collaborative.
It seemed like you had some opportunities to ad lib with, especially with the type of character that you had. He was so snarky.
Yeah. Those were fun. It's always fun when you get a chance to do that.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the experience of landing the role and what it felt like, what you thought it would be, and what it ended up being?
Sure. I really wanted the role specifically because it sort of early in the audition process, when we were talking about the project, it seemed like the approach was going to be a little bit more theater influenced, so sort of like letting the scene play out in the space, a more organic feeling. And I came up doing theater and stuff.
Okay.
And so it's something that like that idea was very attractive to me. But man, there was like, it felt like so many rounds of auditions of just like reading against different people and stuff. So I really wasn't sure if it was going to break my way, but
and it's the funny being on the other side of that experience. Right away when we like auditioned you the first time, you already had the role, and unfortunately
I didn't know that.
You don't really tell people that. You're just like, that's Phoebe Westover, that's done.
Right.
but we had you reading with other people because we needed to see how you would interact with other people, what your chemistry would be like.
I get it. It keeps it interesting.
It
It's all
does. It
good.
does.
Yeah.
Was there anything particularly appealing about this character, Phoebe Westover?
Yeah, I mean, I just think characters like these are kind of fun to play. Originally, I was picturing like a more like upbeat comedic type of character, but things kind of got grittier. It's always fun to get a character you can kind of like dig into the psyche a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is definitely an appealing role for that reason.
Yeah, she's quite a complex character because you serve as both like at one point the most dramatic element, one of the most dramatic elements, but you're also kind of the comedy. You know,
Right.
you bring the lightheartedness to it. So you're kind of at both ends of the spectrum with the character, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, definitely fun to play.
Yeah. So tell me about acting. Is it something you've always wanted to do? How did you get into it?
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, I was just so shy that my parents would try to sign me up for activities to like get me out of my shell. And so I was always in little kiddie theater camp and stuff. And as I grew up, I remained very shy. But theater it had become like kind of a safe outlet. Yeah, I would, go to school and I wouldn't talk to anybody, and then I would go to my rehearsals and I would feel kind of at ease.
Right.
And yeah, I grew up doing community theater, children's theater, and last couple of years I've been getting more into the indie film stuff.
It sounds like acting was kind of like a therapeutic outlet for you as well, not just for fun.
It was. I mean, it's weird looking back. I would like because I was such a shy kid, like I felt like I just didn't know how to talk to people at all. But then, I get up on stage and I didn't really feel stage fright or anything. It was kind of a way to be expressive in front of people, even if I couldn't do it directly with people.
Right.
So
tell me a little bit about how you went about preparing for this role. Was there anything that you did specifically, or what was that process like?
Weightlifting.
What?
Weightlifting?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Actually, made like 5-pound weights in my basement or whatever. So I don't think we really made that much progress with that, but I tried.
There you go.
Yeah.
You look tough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the preparation came in the rehearsals. Because it's like when you do have the opportunity to do rehearsals, which is not always the case, you kind of want to find the character in context of the interactions and the relationships. I find that more helpful than trying to think it through by myself.
On your own in a vacuum.
Yeah, because then, you might get ideas that aren't right once you get face to face with somebody else.
So are you a fan of the sci-fi genre? And if so, like, what are your favorite movies and characters?
Geez, I mean, I guess like I've more seen like sci-fi horror type stuff. I don't know if you count like The Thing. It has an alien. So
I count that, yeah.
Yeah. So stuff like that appeals to me. Kind of cosmic horror type of stuff.
Okay.
I vibe with. I have never seen Star Trek. My knowledge of Star Wars is like very limited.
That's okay.
Oh, Doctor Who. Love Doctor Who.
Doctor Who is very fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.